Hey, greetings fellow slinging agents in the field and welcome back to the show. It's your trusted handler Brian, paving the way for another installment of our Delta Green scenario, Convergence. But first, the business. I want to welcome our newest subscriber over on the YouTube channel, Pierre-Luc Rocher. I hope I did your name justice and didn't butcher it too bad. Welcome to the channel. Also, James Wachter says he's blazing through our backlog of shows and says he started with our newest stuff and has been randomly going through our content. And he loves all of it. He also loves Heisenberg. You're goddamn right. Everybody loves Heisenberg. And if you want to help support the show, then please subscribe to our YouTube channel at RolledHard20. We're starting to see the number of subscribers creep up, but we're still dealing with rookie numbers. So we gotta pump those digits up. Speaking of which, be sure to leave us that 5-star rating and review on whatever app you listen to the show on, and we're on all of them, so there's no excuse there. As always, drop me an email at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com or comment on one of our venues. I try to reply to all comments and questions because I really like the interaction with all of you. So be sure to hit me up. Can't wait to interact with each and every one of you fellow slinging agents in the field. Now, you know what? Enough is enough. Let's warm up our dice and top off our glass as Roll the Hard 20 podcast presents episode 13 of our Delta Green scenario, Convergence. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. Be sure you listen to the back end of this show. I know I usually put a lot of our bloopers and other colorful things back there, but I put a little thing back there that Agent Adesso did in this episode, but I didn't want to run it in the main episode because I really didn't want to give it away to the listeners. I'm sure you guys probably will figure it out as you're listening to it, but if you want to hear how this whole thing kind of played out and how he thought about doing this, I put that on the back end so you could kind of, I guess, get an idea of just how crazy Tony is. Enjoy. Yeah, I know it was a quick intro, but we got things to do. We got shit to listen to.
One broken door, the Scott Adams one.
Yeah, but if you remember, that front entrance is only, all they can see is up to the manager's office. They can't see, I don't think, anything to the left or the right of that.
No, they
Right.
can't.
Yeah, and we do have that body of Scott Adams in there still. They won't see anything if we close the doors of all the other rooms. So if we can keep the sheriff in the lobby and Odessa, you could work your magic with the, this is a federal case, this and that, and we have Coldwell up front and maybe I'm sorry, not Coldwell, Rice, and then I can be with Coldwell and we can figure out, what to do if we're trying to get the bodies out while they're in front. We go out the back or something. I don't know. Or we just
let me
leave
lead
it.
us in.
Yeah, sorry.
Let's get this on the road. Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. It is I, your trusted handler, Brian, and with me, my hard slingers of yore.
Hell yeah.
Episode 13 of our Delta Green scenario, Convergence. All hell has literally broken loose at the shut-eye. You've managed
As long
to...
as the shit weasels ain't loose.
Yeah, the shit weasels that had been bisected into two smaller weasels. You managed to collectively catch one in a comforter. The other one slinked past your gauntlet and actually attacked Susan, who is Frank Carancola's assistant, and worked its way down her throat and into her chest region, basically incapacitating her completely. You guys pulled her out, wrapped her up in a comforter. You asked Joe Krista that it was time for him and his family to move on. And as you escorted them out of the shut-eye and locked the door, you saw his car pull away and drive up the highway. At the same time, you saw Sheriff Oakley's car coming down the highway, heading towards the shut-eye. As we pick up this episode, Agent Rice, you've been going through Scott Adams' MacBook. It was not password encrypted, and it just took you just tapping on one of the keys for the screen to light up. And the first thing you notice is that there is an unusual file that is already open, as though he was writing something in it. It's got a weird title, SZE.T. Whatever that means, I don't know. But there seems to be some kind of a long run-on paragraph that is encompassed in this file. You want to take a shot at reading a few lines of this just to show this man's state of mind when he wrote it.
Do you want me to read it out loud now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a few lines. You don't have to go through the whole.
I'm wondering about the possibility that the brain translates information in terms of the extrasensory, and that's why it achieves intuition and common sense for evidence of ESP or extrasensory perception. Look for coincidences, especially within words of significance. And I continue to kind of read through this, and
scanning.
Yeah, I'm scanning through, and it's kind of hard to follow because it seems like it's just like a stream of consciousness, and his own brain is just like trying to make sense of what he's been investigating, just to get it on paper. It's clear to me reading through this that I'm going to need to spend more time like really dissecting his words and the meaning that he's trying to get through. I'm assuming this falls within like an occult type of check. I'm clearly not going to do it now, but
I would probably do like a hum int on it to see if you could read into where his mindset would have been while he wrote this.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to roll for it now just to see if maybe it gleans some other clues for us.
Okay.
66 over 60.
Yeah, it seems like a jumble of run-on sentences, words that have been partitioned. Like instead of spelling the word reason, it's re as on, and Jesus as JESUIS, all hyphened. It just doesn't make any sense. It's talking about stars and galaxies and planets and rocks and molecules, and it just doesn't make any sense. It's almost as though the man was out of his mind or highly inebriated when he wrote it.
Okay.
So how long do we estimate the sheriff's incoming here?
He's probably going to be touching into the parking lot in about 40 seconds, maybe leaving his car and up to the door in about a minute.
Okay. I will, because I was up front with Rice, I will immediately go to the room where Adesso is and Coldwell and let them know the sheriff's incoming right now. No lights on, one car. So I don't know if he's been alerted, but I think Adesso, you might be needed up front to fill in for the what was it? Guest specialist, sheriff specialist Adesso. We may have a situation here, and I think that your command of the law will help us out with this.
That's good. If we look at it from his perspective, he's driving up. He probably saw Krista leave, and we're all getting ready to leave ourselves. As a matter of fact, have we called yet? Have we called Derringer to send a van?
No, containment was priority.
Okay, now that we've contained, we have contained, right, GM?
Yeah, you have both of the purple orbs contained in their
respective containers.
Respective containers, yes, exactly. I'm imagining at this point you're just kind of cleaning up Karen Cole's room. You're making sure that there's no other evidence that's left behind that could be pointing at what went down here, with the exception of Scott Adams' door blasted out into the hallway.
Gotcha. Who's got the keys for old Betsy?
That was you guys, right, Coldwell?
We had it originally, but
you used the charger recently.
You guys took it from the reservoir down to the motel, I believe.
Okay, so what we'll do then is I'll since that must be true, I'll take the keys and
for which car?
We look at it from what the sheriff knows. He doesn't know anything at this point. He's just driving up, and we're still here, and we're supposed to be gone. And we told him we'd be leaving when we were ready. We're not ready yet. He may be upset about us talking to his kid, and that may be something. We'll just deal with it when we get there.
Well, we also have the missing guest specialist, Sarah lady. She's gone, so we may have to figure out a way to explain that. She ran off into the woods.
I don't think
We
we
don't
don't
want
want
it
to
to-
explain it. We don't know
No,
where
but
she
if
is
he
either.
asks where she is, we can say she's not there. I'm just letting us,
Yeah.
reminding us all she's not there.
Right.
The Krista's just left, and
Right.
I don't know if he knows who's in this hotel, so he may not even know about Scott Adams or Caracola. But there's no reason for them to go in, and if there is, that's when we unleash the federal fury of Odesso on him.
Oh, but he might not be very fond of Coldwell at the moment because he did drive off on him.
Yeah, that was rude, Coldwell.
Yeah, well,
Ichi
Okay,
wants to
he
talk to you
deserved it.
about, some.
Maybe give him a
threatened
cup
me
of
as
coffee next time.
That's right.
Yeah,
Maybe get
maybe
guest
some donuts or
specialist
something.
Ichi on that.
We figure out what he knows and what he wants, and then I'll see how we can placate him before we start saying, dude, you need to leave before I arrest you. So let's play that card for the very end. And let's just see where he is at and what he wants. He's probably not very happy with us, and that's just going to be what it is.
So Coldwell and I will be in the bedroom like we're used to. We shared a room earlier this evening.
Yeah, there we go.
Or last evening. And it'll be you and Rice out front, right?
Yeah.
Rice, should you be behind the counter like that when they show up, or should we get you in a more neutral position?
Yeah, put me someplace else. You know what? Give me. Can I have the card for the manager's office?
Sure.
And I'll go into the manager's office.
You could still be out front to back him up too, because you got some kind of what's your legal law stuff, or what are you?
My criminology?
Well,
your
not even
profession.
your profession, like that would
Oh,
help.
ATF.
Okay, yeah, totally perfect. So we got federal agents and ATF out there, and if need be, we'll send out the marshals, and I'll be in there with the shit sack and the shit bag.
But I want to put this evidence we have in the manager's office, so it's not out and about
Okay.
Yeah.
where Oakley could see it. I want to put it in there. So
So you put it in there. Are you in there with it, or are you just putting it
no,
in
no,
there and
no.
come back out? Okay.
I'm just putting it in someplace secure and then handing the key back to Ichi.
Okay. As this is all going on, you see his car pull up, park. You see him get out of the car.
Someone open the door.
You duck back around. I'm assuming back towards the room
rooms.
109.
Yeah.
Coldwell, where are you at?
In the room trying to, or securing the body.
where you
at
were,
this
yeah.
point.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so you and Rice see Oakley get out of the car, put on his big hat, and start walking towards the door. Is the door still locked or not?
No, that's what I said when I left to the room. I said, "Open the door,"
Yeah.
because they have a key.
Okay.
So Odessa would be opening the door as
Okay.
if he was just walking outside rather than unlocking the door because he saw the sheriff arrive. Wait a minute. The door is unlocked. How else would have Joe, Krista, and everyone would have gotten out?
I locked it after.
He locked,
locked
it.
it
Oh, that's
after
right.
they
They
left.
locked it after. Gotcha. Sorry.
So you unlock the door and kind of push the door open as though you're leaving.
Yeah.
Right as the sheriff comes up and he sees you standing there. And he says, "You're just one of the mothers that I've been looking for. Where's your friend, too? The one that was driving that hot rod Challenger. I want to have a talk with both of you. And you're disrespecting my jurisdiction."
Well, if you're talking about Agent Coldwell, I believe he's already on his way back to Fed Base to speak with SAC Derringer. Truth be told, we're just about done here. We're just about ready to leave. I'm going to call right now so you can hear. I'm going to call Agent Derringer, and I'm going to ask him to send up a van to help us obscure some of the evidence that we've gotten, and we'll be out of your hair in a couple hours.
Well, that's really great to know. Maybe you could tell me what this evidence is that you're going to be leaving my town with.
Well, at this particular point, it's just laptops and some other things, stuff we're going to have to break down and digest. So other than that, it's just hardware.
You're going to have to share that with my office, though. You know that.
No, we don't.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, you've come up empty-handed. There is no drugs running through this place. There is no reason for the federal government to be in here. And if you're taking evidence out, then I'm afraid that's unacceptable.
You know, thankfully,
Reaches
we
up
don't
and
need your
he grabs
approval.
his walkie on his shoulder. He squawks at once. "Do I need to get some of my boys down here?"
Well, you can make a bigger problem if you wish. Some of our
You need to
agents
get
are
some
on
of
the
our
way.
boys.
We have federal agents on the way, as I told you, to help us take some of the evidence. And If you're going to make a scene out of this, then that's fine. That's on
So
you.
your federal boys are already on the way?
That
Because
is
you said you
correct.
hadn't called them yet. You were going to do that right now.
Yes, agents are on the way. What I was calling for was a van to help us take some of the stuff we recovered.
Okay.
The evidence that we recovered. Chain of custody stuff. I'm sure you're familiar.
Why don't you go ahead and get S.A.C. Derringer on the phone? I'd like to have a word with him, please.
My pleasure. So he flicks up his phone and calls Derringer.
S.A.C. Derringer?
Derringer, this is Special Agent Adesso. We're over here at the Shady Rest Inn in Groversville, and we're going to need a van to help us clean the area and transport some evidence that we found. I'd like to make a full report, but Sheriff Oakley is highly excited. He wants to interfere in a federal investigation. In fact, he's demanding to speak with you now. If you don't mind, I'd like to give him the phone, or give the phone to him so you can talk to him.
Are we on speakerphone right now, Desso?
No, we're not.
Turn your back to him for a moment.
Can do.
What does he know about why you're out there?
Well, our drug investigation was the tip of our iceberg, and we've been tracking things going forward from there. He's of the opinion that we haven't produced enough of information to support a drug investigation, and he sees no need for the federal government to be intervening in this investigation. And he's demanding copies of all the things that we have, and he also wants us to clear our evidence extraction before we leave town with it. He may be part of the problem, and we can solve that real quick, but I figured you might want to talk to him before we get to that point.
No, I want you to solve the problem for me.
Understood.
What can I do on my end to expedite
We're
whatever
just
you
gonna
have to
need
bring me?
we're going to need a couple cleaning vessels here, or a couple. We're going to need to clean the area a little more thoroughly. Then
Where are you at?
we're at the Shady Rest Inn in Groversville.
I see a shut-eye. I don't see a shady
Sorry.
rest.
Shut Eye. We're at the Shut Eye.
Okay. All right, I'll have a crew head out there. They're not going to be there for about 4 or 5 hours, though,
Okay.
because I got to rely on people that I can trust to get down there.
Okay.
Does this mean that you've finished mission at this point, or?
We've got some solid leads. We're almost done. We've got some samples that'll conclude a lot of questions that we have answered.
What are we cleaning up there, then, if we're not done with the mission?
Well, we've come across another thing that we need to investigate that only happens at night at the reservoir. I'll be happy to tell you more about it after I clean up this situation with the sheriff.
Okay. Tell him I give you full authority to do whatever you need to do there, and see what he
Understood.
says to that.
Okay.
All right. Keep me
Understood.
apprised.
Will do. Odessa's not going to sound like he's concluded it, the conversation with him, even though he'll press the button to hang up the phone. He'll keep talking. He'll turn back around to the sheriff. So, just so I'm clear, Agent Dillinger, you want me to bring him in. Just open kimono. Tell him what's going on. Is that correct? Understood. He clicks the phone. Sheriff, looks like you're going to have your way. You're going to find out exactly what we've been going through and the results of our investigation. Why don't you come on inside?
Hold this bag.
Well, that's more like it. About time you fucking Fed boys bring me in the loop on half this shit. Every time I turn around, seems like you guys are playing hide the weasel with me. I ain't digging that shit. Lead on, agent.
Okay.
Kind of gets all huffy, looks at Rice like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
As we're walking in, I'll say, Agent Rice, I spoke with Derringer, and he says to bring him in for everything. We hold no secrets, and he's going to have to help us with part of the cleaning because we've got some problems, but he gets to know everything. So let's bring him to Mr. Adams's room.
As Adesso kind of passes by me, I give him just kind of a nod. And then once they turn the corner, I'm going to get up and follow them towards that room.
Okay. Adesso, as you're leading him down the hallway, he can kind of see over your shoulder. He's not a small guy. And he sees all this wood and shit blasted out in front of the last room on the right.
Mhm.
And he looks, what the hell happened down here? Well,
There was a problem, and the problem started getting bigger. But let me show you the source because I want you to understand everything as I explain it. So rather than just start talking about what happened here, let's go into the origin. So let's go into Mr. Adams's room, and I'll show you how it all started.
he follows you into 106. And he's looking at the room as you kind of go around the corner towards the restroom, and he just sees like all these old food cartons on the floor. He sees the blankets pulled off the window. He sees that the comforter's missing from the bed, which is odd. And then he sees that the bathroom door has been blasted off its hinges too. And he's like, what the hell's gone on here, Agent?
All right. I'll say, well, let's start at the beginning. And Odessa will gesture for him to go through the bathroom. And as he's gesturing with his left hand, he's going to wait for the sheriff to turn around. He's going to draw his pistol.
He looks into the bathroom and he sees the body of Scott Adams in a pool of blood. He sees this wrist hanging over the outside of the tub, completely lacerated, all the blood drained out. He sees this open blast wound in the top of his head where this entity had left his body.
Sanity check.
Do I have to roll now, since he's just kind of standing there still? As he's looking in and absorbing this stuff, I want pow.
I'm going to give you that. I'll give it to you with the 20% on that.
Okay.
As he's looking, he makes a hum int check, and he passed. He turns around, and as he's turning his head to look at you, tell me what you do, Odessa.
I shoot him in the head. Under 7, I got a 56 for firearms plus 20, under 76. And I rolled a
Come on.
19.
Oh, yeah.
You pop him in the head, and it's just this sharp, loud crack, not like you hear in the movies. It's almost like somebody took two 2x4s and banged them together really fast and loud. The concussion comes back in this small, confined room. Odessa, I need you and Agent Rice to make a sanity check.
Got it.
It's self-defense. He was reaching.
I rolled a 49 under 55.
Okay, you take 1 point. Rice,
5 under 74.
you'll take 1 point as well. Odessa, you see the sheriff's body collapse into the tub on top of Scott Adams. His head wound just leaking into the tub, filling the tub up all the way and starting to come over the top. Occasionally you see a death throw of a twitch of a leg, and then the body goes still. Coldwell, from inside of room 109, I'm imagining the door was closed. You hear this crack, sharp crack in the distance. You know what this is. You've heard this before. It sounds like a firearm being discharged inside of a room not adjacent to where you're at, somewhere in the building.
Am I alone in the room?
Each is
I'm
with you.
Each is with me. Each. Where are we taking this body?
Well, I think that plans might have changed if what I'm judging that gunfire to be. Maybe we should check and see if that's from our man or from the sheriff. I'll stay with the bodies. I'm holding the shit sack. Go check out and see what happened. Be careful.
All right. Coldwell will leave room 109 and enter the hallway, heading towards where he heard the shot, or where the noise was from.
And you know it was somewhere to the east, probably from 106.
Can I make it all the way to the room?
Yeah.
Okay.
You make it all the way down there. You see Rice is in the room, just inside next to the bed. And you see part of Odessa around the corner, facing the restroom.
Can I see what's in the restroom, or
Not from your angle. You'd have to go into the room, across, and then back up.
Okay, I'll just from there. You guys all right?
I'll tell Coldwell, well, I made a call to SAC Derringer and told him what the problem was, and the sheriff was quite adamant about being involved in the investigation. And I was given the green light to clean him too, which is unfortunate, but here we are. We have about 4 to 5 hours before the cleanup crew gets here. So we should spend our time gathering up our evidence and cleaning everything up.
Do you want to wrap up the sheriff? I'm starting to get my technique down.
Well,
Guys
he's
rolled
not
up tighter
infected.
than a fucking Cuban cigar.
Gotta get your finger to hold the bow for me.
Yeah. Hey, quick pressure right here.
These aren't Cubans. These are Nicaraguans trying to pass off as a Cuban cigar.
Do we want to leave the body there?
Well, the
Agent?
cleaning crew will be here. I don't know. They're outside of game for a moment. What are their capabilities? They make sure that none of this stuff goes on the way it's supposed to, right? They come in and clean it up to make sure that anybody else coming after them doesn't see or find anything. Correct?
Yeah, they're basically going to go through and try to remove the traces they can. I mean, they're not going to rebuild the motel. They're not there to do that. They're just there to take either evidence or bodies or try to remove anything that could be incriminating or could shed light on what happened here.
Wash the quilts, replace them, get a new shower curtain at Best Buy. Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Patch up the wall.
So it's probably best that he drain his fluids into that bathtub and we'll run the water.
Well, it's filled up. It's pretty full right now, though. You would have to unstop it.
Well, we don't need to go that far, do we? Yeah. We'll just leave him where he lies. That's what
We'll
the
leave it
cleaning
for the
crew's
next
for.
guy.
Yeah.
Well, we also got 3 cars now.
That's true.
Well, we don't want to be driving around in Sheriff Oakley's car. That's
But we
gonna
don't
be
want it sitting out
interesting.
front either.
No,
you know?
we don't. Well, he didn't get on the walkie, so we're good. Nobody knows. If anybody knows he's here, we probably got an hour or so before they figure out where he is.
Well, we need to.
All
Is
right.
there a way to drive? Like, I don't. If you can load up the map there, handler, we could figure out a place where we can drive his car and
Which map would you like to see?
park it.
Ooh.
The town, the one
I
with
got-
the shut eye and all that.
I got a good idea. Why don't we leave it with our good old friend? What was
Karen
Agent
Cola.
Grace? No. The husband, Tom,
Todd?
Todd. Yeah, leave it at Todd's fucking residence. They're good buddies.
So Merle Shut Eye is dead center in this town, surrounded by basically everything. So someone is going to see us. Someone saw him driving in, potentially. But someone sure as hell could see us trying to drive it away. And I don't see any areas where we can
No, I
hide
think
it.
you could.
Is there like any
So-
kind of like maintenance garage here or anything,
Yeah,
GM, that
down
we
the
can park
street.
it in?
Merle's
There's
auto
Merle's
body.
auto
Yeah.
body.
Yeah,
East
but that's
of,
bringing a whole group of
oh.
people in. I'm talking
Oh.
about like, is there a place here we can stash it that people wouldn't see it?
Is that
Look-
what you're looking for? Like Merle's auto body over here?
Yeah, but he
I
means
wouldn't
like to
suggest
abandon
that.
it where it doesn't, bring attention, like a Walmart parking lot or, like something that just a vehicle can sit there for a while and no one would notice.
Yeah, but it's the sheriff's vehicle. Everyone's going to notice. I say we leave it in place. There's no place we can take it that it wouldn't be tracked, and it sticks out like a sore thumb.
We could
The
put
question
it
is,
out
we
back or
get
something.
rid of him.
Well, the cleanup crew is going to have to get rid of him, just like they're going to get rid of all the bodies and the shit weasels, right?
Right. So we just we can move the car from the front parking lot to the back parking lot, and that would probably be best. And then we just leave it there. And when they come and they find a completely clean crime scene, and the sheriff gone, and the manager gone, and everything else gone, it's just another strange disappearance connected to an investigation. Of course, they try to follow up on that. Good luck at getting through anybody with the feds. That'll never happen. They'll never give up any information. It'll just be one of those unsolved things. People have been disappearing around these parts for a while now. Haven't
We
you
can.
heard?
At least 6
Let-
weeks.
Yeah.
So this isn't. I'm not necessarily suggesting we leave this place
Mhm.
in its condition it is now. Like but you said it was around 12:30 or 1 by now, GM
Yeah.
handler, and we're supposed to be at the reservoir at 11.
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
Yeah, you got plenty of time.
So, well, no, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the hours in between of where we are now to where we have to be.
Oh,
So,
okay. Yeah.
do you think we could lock up the place with the sheriff's car behind it, and it'll be quiet, and then that'll allow us to check out the storage room with all the fancy equipment. It'll allow Rice time to check out any more information on Adams. The only problem is we said Caracola will be back around 7, we think.
Yeah.
So we want to be out probably before that. But if he's knocking on the the door trying to get in and he can't get in, there's going to be an issue there, right? Like can you shoot him to Adesso?
It may be part of the, he may get cleaned himself. It's just going to be one of those things because he comes back. He's going to be looking for his stuff. He's going to be looking for his assistant. He's going to notice the sheriff's car's there. He's going to be wondering what's going on.
Well,
there'll be a lot of questions we can't answer. So yeah, he may have a problem.
Will the agents be there before he gets here?
Probably. They'll probably get there right about the same time, depending on what he discovers at the quarry.
Which will be a big fat nothing.
Yeah, like, do we want to just put so we should probably be, because there's that room that was locked up and Sarah Connor was all nervous about letting us in there and all that. So we know that he's dead, the sheriff's dead, and we got time to.
That was the equipment room, right?
We need to go in there. We haven't gone in there
Room
yet.
102.
So if some of us want to not tidy up, but make sure the shit weasels are all tied up, make sure all the crap that needs to be cleaned is mostly in the one room for the agents that are coming. We can have someone sitting out front. I could sit out front if we want to, and anyone that's coming in, I can say either the federal thing, or I can or I can say that play it off like, Sarah stepped out for a moment and she'll be back tomorrow. We can't take anyone in right now because they're fumigating for roaches, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
For roaches.
Yeah.
There's a gas smell. We evacuated for everyone's safety.
So yeah, I think, okay, so currently sheriff's handled, shit weasels are handled. Adams took care of himself. We just need to see what's in that other room and if there's any other stuff on the computer that Rice can, unless it's more wacky weirdo.
Yeah, because we can get rid of Karen Cola by just giving him stuff back. When he asked us where Sarah is, we said we haven't seen her. Yeah, they're lying. Oh, yeah, well, we're federal agents. Try to follow up with us. Good luck.
Well, I'm thinking the agents will be there.
If they're there at the same time Karen Cola shows up, Karen Cola becomes part of the cleanup. There's just no way around it. But if he's somehow late, then he's going to be okay because we can clean everything and leave his stuff. Once Rice gets all the information off of it, we don't care about it anymore. Okay. I mean, you can copy his entire drive. We don't need the physical computer anymore, and then we're done.
Okay, at what point do we want to extract Sarah Harbor's body?
Well,
as soon as the
gone.
cleanup crew gets there.
She ran off into the room.
She's in the
Susan's the one we have.
Susan's the ones we got.
Yeah. Sarah ran away. I'm sorry. I got confused too. We don't know where she went. She may be a problem, but if she shows back up again, with her purple stuff and her problem, she's going to be someone else's issue.
Yeah.
And that's going to overshadow. As a matter of fact, that works for our benefit. Everybody's disappearing and dying, and then they got her, and she comes back, and she's homicidal and starts doing all kinds of stuff and starts ranting and raving. It'll be a perfect cover for us. Everyone will be concentrating on her, wondering how she's involved because this all happened at her hotel that she was in charge of with keys to open everything. And now everybody's gone. So this will work out very nicely for us.
I want to remind everyone too that shit weasel blasted out of Adams's head. And right now we have a shit weasel inside of Susan. So it's going to be blasting out of its head sometime soon. So we need to
put a helmet on her.
What's that?
That's not a bad idea.
Put a helmet on it. Ice bucket.
Put a helmet.
The helmet was my idea, but ice bucket
I think that
too.
we should get the smart people in the room looking at the equipment, and we could get someone to monitor the bodies and potentially someone that can run up front if there's for some reasons someone else coming to get into this place, whether it's someone looking for the sheriff or if someone sees the sheriff's car and are banging on the door like, where's the sheriff?
So what are we doing?
Let's get in that room.
Which room?
10 Deuce.
Okay.
10 Deuce.
The one that was locked.
I'll make myself there to be able to take the front area, make sure the door's locked again. So I can handle that. Someone should be watching the bodies, I assume, and then other people should just be ransacking the room for whatever info we got, taking pictures and downloading stuff and, pocketing any loose change we find.
Cool. We'll go back to 109 and secure the bodies.
Are you going to stay with the room? Or
I'm going to stay in the room for the time being.
Okay, so you're in the room. Each, you're at room 102.
Wait, real quick. Is 109 doesn't have any doors, right?
It does.
Oh, okay. So the bodies are in 109 with doors that we can.
Yes.
So yeah, maybe Coldwell, maybe you just hang out in front of the room, and I don't know if these things sense heat or whatever, but it seemed like the shit weasel was pretty dormant in that room when it was all dark and all that. Maybe we just put the bodies in the room, turn the lights off, and keep the door closed or cracked or something, because we don't want you to get taken out and we wouldn't know about it.
Yeah.
Look at the GM, bloodthirsty as ever.
I would know.
I want to know what these things would do.
So looking at the thing, I'll be posted near where the manager area is. If Coldwell's by the door with the room, then Rice and Adesso can be checking out all the room 102 stuff.
Okay, so you're by the manager's door, right?
Yeah, with the front doors locked though this time.
Okay. Rice and Adesso, you're down at the door of room 102.
Yep.
You've got one of your fabricated keys, the main key that unlocks every door. Tell me who's taking point and what you're doing.
Okay. Rice, how long do you think it'll take you to get all the useful information off these HearT computers and laptops and iPads or whatever?
It shouldn't take very long at all. I figure, 15, 20 minutes or so. I know what I'm looking for.
I don't recall what's in the room. Do we know what's in the room yet?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Just check.
Besides the burger wrappers and the dead body?
This is a different room.
Different room.
This is the room where he had all of his equipment. He had two rooms, Scott Adams did. The one where he's laying now, eternally, and 102 is the room that had all the equipment. So 102 is the room where you guys are going to check out.
Well, let's check it out.
Who's opening the door?
Well,
I'll
opening
open
the door?
Who has more hit points?
I'll open the door. Rice will open the door.
Okay.
I'm opening in a way, though, that I'm like kind of off to the side and then, opening it inwards away from me, but using the wall as cover.
You slide the card in, unlock the door, turn the knob, and go to push it in, and you feel a momentary resistance as the door pushes back, and you hear like a whimper behind the door.
Oh, great.
Can I make out what the whimper is? Is it...
Adesso draws his gun.
Fires through the door.
Fires through the door. It's the only way to be sure.
Knock, knock.
Make it an alertness check.
Can we all make that, or just Rice?
You can make it as well, Adesso.
The 42 under 50.
Adesso?
Nope, I missed it with a 96. I don't
Ears
know.
are still ringing.
Yeah, as you pull your weapon out, Adesso, Rice, you hear this whimper. It sounds like the voice of a girl.
Yeah.
In frantic mode, trying to keep the door closed.
Federal agent, open the door.
No, I don't want to do that.
And I can tell that's a woman from the voice at this point.
A young
is this
woman.
Spivey's girlfriend? Is this?
Yep.
Can't just
Jane
assume her
Allen?
gender.
What's her name
like
again?
that.
Jane Allen.
Yeah, what was her name?
Wasn't it Jane?
Yeah,
I
Jane.
think it's
Yeah.
Jane
Check your
Allen.
notes.
Ma'am, federal agents, open the door. We're here to help.
No, there's no helping me.
What do you mean there's no helping you? And while I'm doing that, I'm reaching for my pistol as well.
Is this? Adesso will ask her. Jane Allen, is that you?
Yes.
We've been in contact with your parents. They're worried sick about you.
They don't know nothing about me. They don't care about me.
That's not what they told us. Look, can we talk? Can we come in and talk to you?
I'm afraid. No, you can't come in here.
Why can't we come inside?
They already did.
Oh, that's not, You
Yes.
can't put this in that episode.
Yeah.
No.
We all
Cut
thought
that
it.
out.
We all thought it.
She opens the door slightly, cracks it, and you see this 18-year-old looking girl with sandy blonde hair. Looks like she hasn't brushed it in days. Dark rings under her eyes. She wears sweatpants and a long, oversized t-shirt, and it's easily apparent that she's very pregnant. The stink coming out of the room smells like somebody that's been bottled up in a room that has not smelled fresh air in days. It's rank of BO, old food. You know, if it's brown, flush it down.
Like
maybe
a D&D convention.
Yeah.
It's yellow watermelon.
There's been a lot of mellowing in this room, dude. She opens the door and sees you and Odesso right behind you. And she just kind of hangs her head in defeat. I was frightened about what was happening to me. She said, dude, I'm only 3 weeks pregnant. And her belly is huge.
Oh boy. think we may need to do some cleaning here.
Housekeeping. Another ghost again, right?
Housekeeping. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Do we have any one of those squirt bottles with the test stuff in it handy?
Yeah, I think Rice did, because I think Rice might have used that earlier.
Yeah.
I thought I had one and Coldwell did, so you're just a room away.
Yeah. I'll talk to her and I'll tell her, Rice, that squirt bottle, probably be a good idea to get some of that. And I'll tell her, all right, you just need to sit down. It's all right. How you feeling?
I'm afraid.
Okay. Afraid is normal. It's always
I don't know what to do. What do I do? What's that?
Right now?
You're going to hear him freaking shoot her in the head.
Dude, yeah, out of all the people, you got fucking Odesso helping this poor girl out.
You left her alone with him.
Each should be making her coffee and telling her there's all kinds of things she can do. Odesso's like,
Yeah, let's have Mr. Congeniality come over there.
Like
so she
loading
gets
up
her
that
coffee
empty
before
chamber.
I pop her in the head.
he's filling up the magazine. Oh, there's only one thing left to do.
Oh, good. Well, she, unfortunately for her, well, the thing would be, he's just going to try to calm her down, get her to sit down. When is the last time you had something to eat or drink? You know, this
I've been eating a lot. Scott's been bringing me food every day, a couple times a day. He won't let me leave, though. He's been trying to help me. He said he's going to get me out of this town.
Mr. Adams, Scott Adams?
Yes.
When was the last time you talked to him?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember. I haven't seen him in forever.
Are you hungry?
Yes. What you got? You got peanuts on you?
No, I don't. But
What you got? Granola? Chinese
we'll get you
food?
something. We will get you something to eat. I promise you.
And you see there's all kinds of like empty fast food containers all over the floor, all over the room. It really smells. Look, I haven't used the phone, just like Scott said.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Well, you say you're only 3 weeks pregnant. Is that right?
Yes.
Have you been? How you been feeling? You been feeling sick? You been feeling nauseous? How have you been feeling physically?
I'm feeling okay. I'm just really heavy, and I don't think this is right. Even the doctor didn't think this was right.
Which doctor did you see?
Dr. Oberchristeth was my OBGYN.
But he's not your. Okay. Anyway, how long ago did you see them? That doctor.
It was just a couple days ago, before Scott picked me up. The doctor didn't believe that I was only a couple weeks late. He thought I was lying. Called me stupid.
Did you have an ultrasound done by chance? Did you get to see the sex of the baby?
Not in a while, no. At the time, I was smaller, though, but it was still pretty big.
Okay. Okay, why don't you sit down over here, get yourself something.
You gotta help me.
Oh, we're going to help you. Oh, definitely, we're going to help you.
We got a van coming.
Yeah, one way or another, this problem is going to be solved. But at any rate, just be cool, just be calm. we're gonna get you to a doctor because you're right. This doesn't sound normal for about a month pregnancy. Have you felt the baby kick at all?
Yeah, been kicking the shit out of me all the time.
Gotcha. Is it possible you have more than one child?
Getting hungry every time I turn around. I'm always hungry. I just got to keep eating. It keeps growing. It's hurting me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did the doctor say anything about when you would be delivering if you were to keep up this rate of pregnancy?
I don't know. I wouldn't go back to the final visit. I couldn't do it. I told my mama that I was going to go, and I didn't go. I was trying to get out of town, and I met Scott. He was out here investigating lights or something stupid like that. People disappearing. He said he was checking farmhouses and stuff, and I stayed here one night, and then I told him my story, and he said he'd take care of me, he'd help get me out of this place. He said not to answer the door for anybody.
Well, tell me, what is your story? Help us out here.
I was just with Billy Ray,
Mm-hmm.
and we were having fun out by the reservoir, and one night, and next thing I know, I felt wrong and weird. I got checked out, and Carissa said I was pregnant, and I told Billy Ray, and he got upset.
Mm-hmm. And then what happened?
He ran away. He didn't want to talk. I haven't seen him in forever.
Okay.
I had a feeling this was going to happen as soon as I told him. I knew he was going to wig out and leave.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to take care of me and my baby now.
Yeah.
It's Scott, he seemed promising. He could take care of us, right?
We'll have to talk to Mr. Adams at another time. But right now...
Is he with you?
She's kind of looking
no, he's
past
part of
you.
our federal investigation right now. We're federal agents. We've been investigating some things going on here. He's under some other questioning, so we're just going to be real cool with him. Don't need to worry about it right now. What I do need to know is if you're feeling okay and all you are is hungry, I just need you to stay here. And has Rice come back yet?
Bryce, what are you doing?
I've been listening to this whole dialogue. No, he went next door to get the spray
bottle, right?
from Ichi, and then he should be back by now.
Okay.
Yeah. We just want you to just make sure that none of the bad stuff's around here. Here, you're doing good. Let me grab a washcloth. Grab some washcloth. Yeah, and you spray some of the stuff in the washcloth, and then let me see your hands. When was the last time you washed your hands?
I don't know, maybe 20 minutes ago after we'll use the restroom.
Okay. He swabs the back of her hands with the cloth, see if she turns purple.
She does.
Okay. Other than your hands, is her face dirty? I mean, she looks like she hasn't combed her hair or anything like that.
She just looks as though she's neglected all vanity at this point. She hasn't brushed her hair. She hasn't put on any makeup or anything.
Right.
Yeah, she's just wearing sweatpants and an oversized T-shirt. Her breath stinks.
Gotcha. Okay.
How did she get here?
She came here with, how did she get here? Let's ask her. How did you get here?
I ran away from my mama and daddy, and I wound up here. I was on my way out of town, and I met Scott here.
All right. So you got here, and I wipe her face with the cloth.
It's purple there as well.
Have you drank any of the water from the faucets or the taps?
That's all I have. I don't have anything else to drink. I'm always thirsty too.
Okay. All right. Just have a seat here, and I'm going to go see if I can get you something to eat. Rice, can I speak with you for a moment?
I'd love some rice.
When we get outside, we close the door partially, but not enough that it's completely closed. I'll just whisper to him, I think she's infected. She claims to be only a month along in her pregnancy. She's been doing nothing but drinking the hotel water this whole time, in addition to whatever food Scott's been able to bring her. And I keep it kind of on the low. I'm going to pitch my voice higher for the purpose of the podcast, but he's whispering to Rice, I think she's infected. I think we have a bigger problem here. Now, as cold-blooded as I am, I'm not really interested in killing a pregnant lady, but I'm not sure we're going to have much of a choice. I'll ask each to do that.
So did the spray come? Was it purple?
She's purple on her face. She's purple on her hands. And she's been drinking nothing but the water from the hotel.
So logically, the water is infected.
Water's infected. She's infected. It's probably infected her fetus, which is why she's so large. She looks like she's 8 months plus, and she claims to only be a month pregnant.
Well, I don't think we have much choice here. We're going to have to kill her.
She's going to have to be part of the cleaning. That's probably true. Each. Let's get each over here. Let's have him sharing the fun.
No, that's all. I'm with you. I think this is starting to get away from us at this point. We've got to start containing this. We got to start containing this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Out of game. If there's a shit weasel in her, like there was with Adams, it's gonna burst. Like we got to figure out how to like contain the shit weasel that's growing in her.
See,
kill her and wrap her in a blanket.
You look cold. Here's some electrical tape and a blanket and the shower curtain, the trash bag.
Well, we got to talk. I'd like to talk to the rest of the agents and get everybody's input on this. But yeah, unfortunately, she's part of the problem, and she's going to have to be cleaned. And given how far along she is, even if we just kill her, I don't know if that's going to be enough to kill the fetus.
Well,
because we don't even know if we have a fetus anymore.
It can be someone that we give to, or the agency picks up and then takes care of, like a Billy Ray Spivey. Like, because they said he's dead. He's not dead. We know that. I don't know if we want to turn her over to an agency that's going to prick and prod her more than she's already been pricked.
Here's the problem. What's the choice? We either kill her now and save her from that, or we don't kill her and give her to the agency that will prick and prod her because she's an anomaly. But that's our only choices at this point.
And that's why you should wait before you have sex until you're married.
There we go.
So at this point, I think we need to keep her comfortable. Let the agency take her.
Yeah.
I think that her fate is sealed, and if we intend to contain this beyond Groversville, the agency's going to have to do some testing, air quotes, testing on her.
Yeah, we may need to nuke the site from orbit because it's the only way to be sure. Because if it's contaminated the water supply, and it has, there's no telling how many other people have been infected.
Do you have some thoughts on how we can kind of keep her calm until what are we talking? What, like two hours or so before the crew arrives?
About that or so, given times. Yeah, we probably got closer to 4 hours. And we also got a problem with Karen Cola showing up. If he shows up before the cleaning crew shows up, he's going to be part of what gets cleaned. And if he shows up during the cleaning crew being here, he's going to get cleaned too.
I will say, out of character, because I'm not in the room, we've all been infected then, because we all showered, we all that. It doesn't matter if we're turning purple, because that's like contaminated from the water. What matters is what's inside her, I think. Right? It could be the baby, but it could be something that's in her. But all of us have had some degree of contamination with the water. So, I mean, you were purple as hell. Remember that?
I do. And then when the other agent arrived, he sprayed the stuff in the air. It got purple.
Yeah.
He left.
I don't think that we should light her up just because she turned purple, because that's everybody's turned purple. All of us did. So the thing is that I'm concerned about, even though I'm not in the room and now I'm metagaming, is that what's inside of her. It's not just a baby. If she's only 3 weeks pregnant, sure, they could not know they're pregnant for a month or two, but that would only make her, 3 or 4 months pregnant. She wouldn't be all big and beach ball like that. Right. So there's something in her that's going to come out now or come out later. So
we got a definite problem with her. She is now part of the problem. And I like the idea of passing the buck to the agency. I mean, we've already cleaned enough, so let's pass the buck to the agency, see what they want to do with this. Well, so when the cleaning crew gets there, it's going to be half of her. We'll have to put her mind at ease and say that, you've got a medical condition and we're going to get you some help. Don't worry, the government's here. We're here to help.
We know probably why the cows have been exploded and all that kind of shit, because shit weasels were in them and bursting out. Isn't that one of the things that was wrong with the cattle, GM?
They were
cut by a laser, though.
Yeah, they were laser cut and stuff.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
what what's his name was out investigating.
Right.
Allegedly.
Cattle mutilation.
Because there's still like, we still got to go to the reservoir, and we don't know what happened with Spivey, because the things that we've seen, the purple protoplasm and all that kind of stuff, seems different than what Spivey has.
Mm.
You know, otherwise, if he had something in him, he would have burst already. And we don't actually know if he's dead for sure.
Yeah, but pretty much.
Well, I think everyone's saying he's dead, so
Yeah.
the people drop it and are no longer investigating, and they can do whatever they want to him.
Yeah, but his condition seems to be different. It seems like to be a completely different kind of thing than this purple weasel stuff.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to have to wait for the cleanup crew to arrive so we can transport her as well. We got to keep an eye out for Karen Cola. Rice makes progress on getting everything done so that we can get rid of the equipment. Hopefully, get everything out of here before Karen Cola arrives. Otherwise, he's part of the problem. And that brings us to us. Are we part of the problem? Will we be perceived to be part of what needs to be cleaned here?
I wouldn't think so, because anyone coming into town is going to have the same purple shit on them and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just in the air.
Yeah.
Well, as the first crew that you know of that was assigned to go to Groversville, you're reporting back to Derringer the stuff that you've done and that you've discovered. You were sent here explicitly to find this stuff out and to either contain it or eliminate it, one of the two. So unless there was somebody that came out here before you or another team that comes after you because you've now become the mission, you won't know until it is actually at that point.
Well, we've been the mission a few times, so it's no big deal for us, but we'll just got to figure out what to do with this lady here. We got to wait for the agents to come to take over the cleanup, and then maybe we can intercept Caracola or something before he gets in here. Make up some story.
What are we doing, agents? Are you gonna come get me something to eat? I heard you say rice.
Well, let's see if we can get something for her out of the vending machines, and then that'll shut her up for a little while. But it seems to me that when the cleaning crew gets here, they're going to take everything we give them everything we have, including the young lady here. We keep an eye out for Karen Cola, and if he arrives, he's part of the problem. If he doesn't, well, then we don't have to worry about it. We ain't coming back here. And depending upon when this all comes together, we just make our way to the reservoir around 11 o'clock.
Okay, so we jump in time about another 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Oh, during that time, we're going to move the sheriff's car from the front to the back.
We already did that.
Oh, we already did that?
I already did
Never
that
mind.
before we started doing all the stuff.
We're all good.
Basically drained the snack machine of everything that was in it to give to her. She's like a bottomless pit. After about 2.5 hours, you see headlights pull up in a white panel van. You see 4 men get out, all dressed in black. Not that they're trying to hide themselves, they're just nondescript articles of clothing. They come up to the door, look both ways. One holds the door, 3 of them go in. They close the door and they lock it. I see each in the lobby. Agent Alpha, this is Beta, Charlie, and Delta. Heard you ordered some room service.
Yes. This
Can you
way,
tell me
please.
where?
Now. Okay. Follow me. And just to, I assume these are the agents and all that, but I'm going to keep myself ready in case there's some sort of, in case they're going to come show me the whole situation in the room like Adesso did to the sheriff. I want to make sure that I'm not. So I will lead them towards the room. I will knock on the room with Adesso and Rice. Cleanup crews here, and follow me, and I will take them to where the rest of the bodies are.
Okay, so you got 3 rooms that you could lead them to. 102, 106, and 109.
And 109 has the sheriff and Scott Adams, right?
No, that's 106.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I will lead them to that room because that's the messy one.
Okay. They walk in there, they see it. Alpha says, we've seen worse. 2 bodies, okay. What else do you have?
And I'll lead them to, I assume the other agents are now out. Are you guys out too with
Adesso, Coldwell,
Yep.
Rice?
Yeah. After showing them Adams and the sheriff, I want to lead them to the room where Coldwell is watching the bag and the quilt, as they are now called, and explain to the agents. This one has a body. Inside the body is some sort of anomaly, and I will hold up the other bag that is also in this bag. These are highly dangerous, and somehow we've contained them with these crappy quilts. So I think it's of utmost important that we find a way to contain these better than these pick and save blankets that we have them wrapped in. But these
Okay.
are of the utmost danger and should be handled with the utmost caution.
They should be suspended. Don't let it touch the ground. Otherwise, it could use that as leverage to break out. It needs to be in a 0G suspension, so you just can't put it into a trash can or something like that.
This is more than a rattlesnake in a pillowcase.
What else do you have for us?
And then I'll lead them to the last room and go, Adesso, these are agents Alpha, Beta, Delta, Gamma. This is Agent Adesso.
Charlie Delta, damn it.
This is Miss Jane. Miss Jane is suffering from an extreme abnormal pregnancy. She needs to get to a doctor so she can receive adequate treatment. As you can tell, she looks like she's about 7-8 months along, but she reports that she's only a month along. So she needs to be treated very carefully. Sweet lady. She's very scared.
Interesting.
Very young, and we need to have her transported for medical treatment.
Ma'am, if you could follow us, we'll escort you. I'll get something to eat. Yeah, we'll find something for you. Delta, take her up to the van, please. Charlie, I want you on 106. Beta, 109. And agents, can you tell me, is that person cleared to be here? And he points his finger towards the western emergency exit. And you see standing there in the doorway, kind of hunched over, hag-looking woman, eyes completely purple, with a name tag that says Sarah Harbor, guest specialist. And I'll see you next episode.
Yes, she's supposed to be here.
She's supposed to be here. Thankfully, yes. Just not in the current condition she's in.
Real quick, out of character here, talking to the group. Do we want to bring him down to the hallway
Adams.
where the body is, or are you, Adesso, are you going to take care of him?
My inclination at this point is to get him in the hotel away from prying eyes, and when I show him a body or something that's going to consume his full attention, I'm going to shoot him in the back of the head. I got to tell Rice that's what's going on.
What do we run out of quilts?
Oh my god!
But I mean, do you want to take him into the back room where Scott Adams is and show him?
Yeah, I'm going to take him in there. I'm going to take him right in there because
we're going to go for the wow factor.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to go in there. Adam's going to be with his head blown out and all this other stuff. And this is what we found. And then when he's looking at it, I'm going to pull my gun and pop him. And that'll be it for him. And I got to figure out a way to tell Rice that so that he knows that not only are we going to do that, we have full blessing and approval from SAC Derringer.
Thank you for joining us once again on Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Remember, you can find us and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora Radio, iHeart Radio, Amazon Podcasts, and Audible. And if you like what you're listening to, be sure to leave us that 5-star rating and review. Don't forget about our YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20. So if you're into watching and you want to help support this show, then head on over and hit that subscribe button. It really does help the show out. We can also be found in the wild on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so don't forget to look for us there and check us out. You can also contact the show directly at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com or head on over to the website at rollthehard20podcast.com, where you can download the current show directly, pick and choose past shows from our archives, or view our galleries. We've got a lot of stuff posted over there, so check us out. And finally, Join us on our Patreon at patreon.com/rollthehard20podcast, where you can become a hard slinger and pick up swag. So until next time, keep your dice warm and your glass topped off as you roll those hard 20s.